Hey, my name is Amber. I donated to my younger cousin, Brandy. She has had kidney issues since she was born. She was born with a dormant kidney, it never developed. And when she was 9, she had to have that kidney taken out. And I promised her that I would give her my kidney, and I was 10 at the time. She was worried that her only kidney would get sick, so I promised her my kidney. Told her that if she could live with one kidney, I could live with one kidney. I've never really not thought about kidney disease. It's always been something very prominent in my life because of my cousin Brandy. Um, it, I've been with her, our whole lives and watched what kidney disease has done to her. So I will say I've pretty much always been aware of kidney disease. I've always dealt with the possibility of kidney failure with Brandy. We kind of knew it was always going to happen eventually. We just didn't know when. She had 2 children, relatively close together, and that did put a lot of strain on her remaining kidney. And but when she told me, like when I got the call that she was in kidney failure, my heart just sank. It's not anything I ever wanted her to have to deal with. I always wanted her to have a very good life and a quality life, and so it was heartbreaking to get that news. Again, learning about the options for the kidney patients and the recipients was nothing I wasn't really familiar with, having been in Brandy's life all of our lives. I've been to many appointments with her, so I had spoke with her doctors, and I had seen firsthand treatment options and things like that, so I wasn't completely unaware of what was going to happen. I guess you would say ultimately I decided to donate when I was 10 years old. Didn't really know what I was setting myself up for when I made that promise, but I pinky promised her that I would donate. And when it came around to the time for the actual donation, I never even questioned it. It was just, I felt like it was something that I was meant to do. It was in God's plan all along. I feel like I was just built to donate to her. Beings that we were family, everybody was pretty understanding. There was concerns. Actually, there was more concerns with Brandy than anybody. My mom was a little worried, but being in the medical field, she wasn't as worried. She knew what was going to happen. She worked in an operating room, so she had been in on transplants and things like that. So everybody was really understanding, except for Brandy, the recipient herself. I think she just, her biggest thing was, God forbid something happened to me. She would never forgive herself for that. She actually, on several occasions, tried to talk me out of donating. I remember during my evaluation, her just over and over asking me, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure?" And so it was kind of funny that the biggest worry was actually the recipients. I can honestly say I was never worried or scared. I never had this fear when it came to this transplant. I don't know why. The morning of my surgery, I was back there being prepped, and the nurses actually told me they were so shocked at how normal my blood pressure was, because normally people have very high blood pressure because they are scared and they're nervous. Over any surgery, not just transplants, but just surgery in general. But for me, I just had this overwhelming sense of peace and calmness throughout the whole process. Like I said before, I felt like it was just all in God's plan. Like this has been the way it's supposed to be, and I really had faith that I knew He would see me through it and take care of me. That's a funny question, actually. Being rolled into the operating room, I do not recall that at all. I have a very low tolerance for medications, so the last thing I remember is actually kissing my daughter and telling her I love her and I'll see her in a few hours. They gave me that, I don't know, Ativan, Twilight drug, whatever it was, and I was gone. Like, I don't remember leaving the prep room. The best moment after surgery, I had already told my doctors prior to surgery that I wanted to be up as soon as I possibly could. I wanted to be moving. And so 4 hours after I woke up in my room, the nurses got me up and I walked to see my cousin. And when I opened the door and I seen her laying there and seen her face and the tears just pouring from everyone in our family, and let me tell you, it's a big family. There was probably about 20 people there. Absolutely best feeling. I think that might be one of the best feelings next to having my child. My recovery wasn't too terrible. I had 2 small incisions, and then they had actually taken the kidney out of an old C-section scar that I had. I think that was kind of a little bit of a blessing because I never really regained feeling in that area, so I didn't really have much pain associated with the transplant from that. Had a little issue with my blood pressure the first night after surgery. It bottomed out after I went and visited my cousin. So we think that maybe I just might have got up a little too soon. Never had blood pressure problems, and I don't now. My blood pressure's still, I'm about 120/80 girl, so I don't have any issues with that. Suffered from fatigue a good bit for the first few months, I'll say, and I still have it a little bit from time to time. Nothing terrible though. The heat gets to me a little bit more than what it used to, which kind of sucks, being that South Georgia, it stays hot. But that's something I deal with. I just completely, make sure to hydrate and hydrate and hydrate. Water is my best friend. I used to hate water. Now I drink water all the time. Overall, though, I will say the recovery was pretty easy. I don't really know what I've learned about myself throughout the process. I don't think I'm any different now than I was before. I'm the same person. Give you the shirt off my back, Other people always tell me, oh, you're a hero and this, that, and the other. And I don't feel like that in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I feel like it's just something that happened in my life that I was meant to do. It's a nice feeling to know that, in a sense, I share life with my cousin. It's been a very humbling experience, to say the least. But as far as seeing myself any differently, not really. And I just kind of take what other people say about the hero thing with a grain of salt, because I'm not one to be put in the limelight. I don't like it. So, I'm just gracious and tell them thank you, and that's sweet, and I appreciate the kind words, and move along. Post-donation, I would say my life hasn't changed at all. I still eat and drink and do the same things that I did before. There's literally no changes. It was an easy recovery, an easy donation, and my life's pretty much the way it was before. There's nothing that I can think of that I didn't expect, and definitely no regrets. Absolutely no regrets when it comes to any of this. I guess if you could say expect things I didn't expect, maybe I didn't expect my cousin to end up having cancer in her remaining kidney. She went for her routine post-op evaluation, and they do kidney biopsies on the recipients. And we found out that her kidney that remained in her body actually come back from the biopsy cancerous. So she had to have that kidney removed. So now she just She just has my kidney. Her name is Coco. We nicknamed her Coco, by the way. But yeah, I think that's probably the only thing that I didn't expect to happen, was ultimately that her remaining kidney would end up with cancer. The best part about donating my kidney to my cousin, oh gosh, the list goes on. Honestly, the quality of life. She is just living her best life right now. And to boot, she just became a Mimi. Her oldest daughter just had a baby in January. So to think that had we not been able to go through with the transplant, that she may not even be here, because they would have had to take that kidney out with cancer, and then she might not have even been eligible for a transplant. And not being able to be here to see her first grandbaby born, oh God, that just right there, that makes it all worth it. Her quality of life, and just praying to God she gets 30 years out of Coco, that would be fantastic. The best advice I could give someone that's considering becoming a living donor is just do your research. Go to the doctor's appointments, ask questions, ask 100 questions, and then ask 100 more. Be involved, especially if you know your recipient. Go with them. See the things that the doctor tells them. If you're doing a pair, if definitely consider pair exchange. I had signed up for that going into the process. I knew that even if I couldn't donate to her, I would donate to someone if it meant someone could donate to her. Research. That's all I can say. I did so much research right down to the point that I watched an actual kidney donation, because I wanted to know what was going to happen to me. I wanted to know everything about it. I'm an ex-EMT, so I like to know the science behind everything. I wanted to know what I was in store for. I asked a gazillion questions, and that's the biggest thing you can do, is just educate yourself. Education plays a huge role in kidney donation. I think the biggest thing I could add to this is, I've always said this: the good Lord gave us 2 organs that we can share. We can live after giving a piece of our liver away, and He gave us 2 kidneys because we only need 1. If everybody that was able to donated one of their kidneys, do you know how many people would come off the transplant list? How many people would be able to live their lives without dialysis? Oh my God, that's amazing. But people are scared. There's what if something happens to me? What if? You can't ask yourself that. This is something that you cannot be selfish with. You have to be very understanding and very giving, and very accepting of the process, because it is a long process and it's a grueling process, and you go through so much just to become a living donor. I just wish more people would take the time to educate themselves, because you truly are giving the gift of life.